Welcome to the Social Media Show with Philip Calvert. Social media news, views and tips to help you win more customers and increase sales.
Hey, hello again, and a very warm welcome to the Social Media Show with me, Philip Calvert. This is the show where we look at what's hot in the world of social media and where we interview our social media warriors. That's basically everyone from experts who make their living from it through to anyone who's passionate about making the medium work for them and their business. But just occasionally, it will be just me and the microphone where I answer questions that you, the listener, have sent in. And that's what we're doing today. I've got three great questions about LinkedIn. What's interesting about these three is that they each tackle the same aspect of LinkedIn, but from a slightly different angle. So let's have a look and see what we've got. First of all, I've got a question from Sue, who's an independent events professional. Hi, Sue. Thanks for your question. And Sue says, I've got premium membership of LinkedIn, but I'm not getting more profile views. What should I be doing? Well, that's a really great question. Thank you very much for that. Now, the first thing to bear in mind is that just because you've got premium membership, it doesn't necessarily mean that LinkedIn is going to make sure that you appear higher in the search engines, in the search results, or that you actually get more profile views. Really, the key thing about getting more visibility is how you conduct yourself and what you actually do on LinkedIn. Premium membership doesn't really help with that, except in one aspect, which I'll come on to in a moment. So how do we get more profile views? Well, the first thing we need to do is remember that LinkedIn has set itself up to be a valuable site full of great content that encourages people to keep coming back in and keep logging into the site. It's really important that you remember that LinkedIn is a service provider. So the more active you are on LinkedIn, the more you do, the more you like, the more you share, the more you comment, the more likely it is that people will want to actually take a look at your profile. But let's just give you a couple of things that you can do that really will make an immediate and measurable difference to your visibility on LinkedIn. And of course, if you are more visible on LinkedIn, then it's far more likely that you're going to get those profile views. Now, one of the things I tell clients of mine to do, I really recommend that you do this. When I first discovered this several years ago, I was amazed at the difference it made to my visibility and, as a result, profile views. And it's basically an exercise that you need to do with keywords. What you're going to do is get yourself a clean sheet of paper, and you need to brainstorm your keywords. You know, what are the words that you would hope someone would type into the LinkedIn search box that would lead to your profile coming up in the search results? That's what you've got to think about, and do a bit of brainstorming on that. And then come up with a list of about 12. So, for example, Sue, you're an events professional, so events would be a keyword. Events professional would be a keyword. And I know that there's a hashtag that events professionals like to use on social media, which is hashtag #eventprofs. You might want to include that as one of your keywords. So another keyword might be conferences, training. You know, only you know what your keywords are, and whilst they'll be similar to other events professionals, you are unique. You are your own person. You'll have your own niche, you'll have your own experience, and you'll have your own areas of expertise. So your list of keywords will be similar but different to other events professionals. So come up with a list of about 12 keywords. And then what you've got to do is put them in order of importance. So the most important keywords to you are at the top of the list. Then, having done that, you really want to take the top 5 keywords on the list. Now these top 5 keywords, you almost want to print them out and put them up on the wall of your office or wherever it is you work, because these basically are you. These are the words that if someone's searching with them on social media, anywhere for that matter, we want you to appear in the search results. So these keywords are the living embodiment of you on social media. So you've brainstormed your keywords, you've settled down to a list of 12, you've put them in order of importance, and you've taken the top 5 keywords. Then what you need to do is you need to go and edit your LinkedIn profile. And in an ideal world, you need to try and get each and every one of those 5 keywords into pretty well every single section of your LinkedIn profile. Now, there are lots and lots of sections to your profile. When you go to edit, LinkedIn will very often prompt you to complete more of it. But, this is another thing. You need to fill out your profile in detail. I mean, really go to town, fill out every single section. And this is one of the biggest mistakes people make on LinkedIn, is not fully completing your profile. And here's the thing. When you do fully complete your profile and it is keyword laden, guess what happens? LinkedIn rewards you. How does it reward you? Well, it rewards you by putting you higher in the search results. And that's just critical. If you're on LinkedIn, you need to be visible and you need to be appearing in those search results. So do your keywords, get the top 5 keywords into every single section of your LinkedIn profile. And I mean every section. There's even an area where everybody on LinkedIn has got their own unique URL. This is unique to you, but you need to customize it. And if you go to my profile on LinkedIn and search for Philip Calvert, you'll see that my unique URL, it doesn't actually have my name in it. It's just got social media speaker. And the reason I've done that is because events professionals, hopefully people like you, Sue, who are looking for a social media speaker or a social media expert to speak at a conference, that's what you'll be typing into the search box. And by me editing my unique URL and customizing it to something that includes my keywords in it will actually help me to appear higher in the search results. So that's really the answer to your question, Sue. Just because you've got premium membership, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get more profile views. But the next question will give you a bit more on this. But one of the things you can do to get more profile views is to do the keyword exercise. And just to recap, let's brainstorm. What are your business keywords? Come up with a list of about 12. If you're in a really niche market or a really niche industry, you may not actually be able to come up with 12. So it doesn't matter. Come up with a list, but then take the top 5 keywords and edit them into every single section of your LinkedIn profile. And I mean every single section. Now, so that neatly takes us on to the second question I've had, and this is from Carl. Carl is a business coach who tells me he specializes in small to medium-sized businesses. Thanks, Carl, for getting in touch. Really appreciate it. Now, Carl says, and this almost is the next step from Sue's question, Carl says, I'm getting profile views, but I'm not getting the inquiries. And that's a great question because, what's the point in doing the keyword exercise? What's the point in appearing higher in the search results, which are leading to views, but you're not actually getting inquiries? That's a really, really good question. So here's the thing. First thing we have to remember is that when someone looks at your LinkedIn profile, they never do it by accident. There's always been something that's triggered them to actually take a look at you. And it means they've had to click on something. So, maybe you did show up in one of the search results. Maybe you've done the keyword thing and that strategy seems to be working for you. You're showing up in search results and people are clicking on you to take a look at you. And that's basically what they're doing. Of course, there are all sorts of other reasons why somebody might be looking at your profile page on LinkedIn, but let's just say for sake of argument that they've come through. Now, they've looked at your profile and they might have stayed, a couple of seconds, or they might have read the whole thing, and maybe they've taken some notes, and then off they've gone, and they've not come back to you. Now, there's got to be a variety of reasons why that is, but the chances is that they're going to be using LinkedIn in a bit more depth. They're going to be looking for other people like you. They're going to be, there's a reason that they've done the search. They're looking for a particular area of expertise. And they're not just going to go for the first person that they find. They're going to look for other people as well. So keep that in mind as well. But what we need to do is to give them a little encouragement and a little nudge to encourage them to actually make contact with you. Because the overwhelming majority of people who look at someone's profile page do not then make contact. So they've done it for a reason, so we ought to kind of just give them a nudge and maybe find out why. So a really good thing to do, and hardly anybody does this on LinkedIn. I know this because I look at a lot of people's profile pages and they never do what I'm about to tell you. And I saw some statistics somewhere a while ago. I can't remember where it was I saw, but something like 98% of people on LinkedIn never bother to do what I'm about to tell you. So someone's looked at your profile page. Okay, they've done it for a reason. How about a nice thing to do would be say thank you. Yep, that's it. As simple as that. Something simple and courteous like saying thank you. Now, I've said this to people, to groups of people before, and one or two have said to me, but hold on, Phil, this is social media. It's about shortcuts. It's about quickness and so on and so forth. We don't need to do the thank you thing. We'll save that for networking here in the real world. Well, that's fine. But if someone's taken the trouble to look at you, they've done it for a reason. It's entirely possible that they might want to hire you for a project or to do something. They may want to actually pay you money. And if they've looked at your profile and then shortly afterwards, they get a little message that comes back to them saying, hey, John, or hey, Gary, or whoever, thanks for looking at my profile page today. I hope something caught your eye. That's going to get their attention. It's as simple as that. Now, when you do write back to somebody, the chances are they are not already a connection of you. So when you want to reply to them to say thank you for looking at their profile, your profile, you need to make a connection request with them. And this is how I do it. So I go to their profile, and I'm looking at their profile and I click the connect button. And what I'll do then is I will literally say something like this. And this is a script that works for me time and time again. And basically what I'll say is, hi, Gary, thanks very much for taking a look at my profile today. I hope something caught your eye, or I hope you found something of interest. Then the next thing I say to them is, please do let me know if there's anyone in my network that I can connect you to. Thanks in advance. Now, I might sometimes ask them and say, it would be great to connect, please. But let me just go through that message again. Hi, Gary. Thanks for taking a look at my profile today. I hope something caught your eye. If there's anyone in my network that I can connect you to, please do let me know. And then I might add, it would be great to connect with you, please. Now, notice what I've not done. What I've not done is gone into sales mode. I've not said, hi, Gary, thanks for taking a look at my profile. Would you like to buy my stuff? Would you like to hire me? What are you looking for in particular? In other words, I'm avoiding the sales pitch. At this stage, all I'm trying to do is to prompt a reaction. Actually, what I'm trying to do is get a conversation going. Just get a little bit of dialogue. And when a little bit of dialogue starts to get going, then we're really getting somewhere. That's all I'm trying to do, is get a bit of dialogue going, start to build a relationship, and who knows where that relationship will go. It could end up with us having a coffee. That's all I'm trying to do. So when someone takes a look at your profile, assuming they're not already a connection, go make a connection request to them and say, thanks for looking at my profile. I hope something of interest. And then say to them something like, if there's anyone in my network that you'd like me to connect you to, please do let me know. So I've not gone into sales mode. All I've done is acknowledge that they're called, and I've tried to be helpful without trying to promote my stuff. Now, I tend to find that 9 times out of 10, the connection request is accepted, and more often than not, people will actually write back and say, oh, yes, Phil, I was looking for a speaker, or I see that you just happen to be living in the same area as I do. Something like that. That's all we're trying to achieve. And when you think about it, that's how all business relationships get going, just through a relationship starting, through a little bit of dialogue, and maybe looking for something in common. And, just as a little extra tip here, when somebody does look at your profile page, it's always good to then go and look at their profile page. And, you can try and figure out in your own mind, why was it that they were looking at you? And quite often you can figure it out. Maybe you're both in the same industry. Maybe you're both in the same part of the world. Maybe you've got a common interest. Really, you should never underestimate the power of common interests. And if somebody's got something in common with you, an interest, a location, a company, something like that, a discipline or an area of expertise, then the likelihood of the two of you connecting at a human level is very much greater. So remember that one, okay? I hope that helps Carl. Just say thanks for taking a look at my profile, a nice friendly little message back to them. Now, here's the thing. Trust me on this when I tell you this works. I've had clients tell me that the very first time they said thank you to people who looked at their profile page, they ended up with some seriously good quality business. So just keep that in mind. It works. Do the courteous thing, do the human thing, connect at a human level. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Carl. Now, on to the third question, our final question today. And again, we're in the same sort of area. I've got Mark, who's a sales manager, has written to me. Thanks a lot, Mark. Mark says, I'm not getting the right people looking at me on my profile page. So that's an interesting thing. Again, the very nature of LinkedIn is that it could be really quite random. So he's doing something right. He's getting people looking at his profile page, but he doesn't believe that he's getting the right people looking at his profile page. So what can we do to help Mark with that? So that's a great question, Mark. Thank you so much for that. You're not getting the right people looking at your profile. Okay, so there's three things that I think we need to be looking at here. First of all, you need to make sure that your keywords really do reflect your expertise. If you've got a particular target market, I see that you're a sales manager. If you aim at a particular target market, a really good thing to do in your keyword list is to include keywords that your target market might use. So perhaps if you're if you're running a sales team that sells, I don't know, double glazing or replacement windows, then think about your target market, think about the problems that they have, and try and in your keywords, get some of the words that they might be using as well. One thing you could do is go to some of your existing customers and actually ask them, what are the sort of typical problems that they face? Tell them that you're trying to make your marketing better, you're trying to improve your LinkedIn profile, and you're looking for more people like them, and ask for their help. What sort of keywords do you think they might be searching for when they're using the internet and LinkedIn as well? So just make sure your keywords accurately reflect your area of expertise, your area of specialism, and also the problems that your target market are facing. Second thing I would do also is just take that one a little bit further and look at your actual profile itself, not just the keywords, but try to literally say out loud on your profile, what are the problems that you solve, okay? And if you can get that into your profile, again, you'll find that more of the right type of people will start looking at your profile. Again, you're a sales manager, you understand about sales, and sales really is you're looking to try and solve other people's problems through your solutions, and your LinkedIn profile needs to reflect that as well. Another thing I think you could do is also go onto LinkedIn and join more groups. You can join many groups on LinkedIn now. There's a group for pretty well every occupation, every interest, and join the groups where your target market hangs out. And then in those groups, you will see your target market asking questions. They will literally articulate the problems they face. They will be asking questions about resources they are looking for. They'll be asking questions about who can recommend this, who can recommend something else. And there is a fantastic opportunity for you to go in and literally answer their questions to help them out. When you answer a question that somebody's asked in a group, don't go into sales mode. Just literally answer the question. Be known as someone who's helpful. And over time, you will find that this attracts the attention of the people that you are looking for. People will become curious. They'll say, who is this guy, Mark? He's answered a couple of questions here. He's been really helpful. And people will instinctively want to take a look at your profile page. So join some groups, look out for questions, and this is something you could do every single day. Just go into the groups that you're a member of and see what sort of questions are being asked. Some days there won't be any at all. Other days there'll be several questions. And where you have answers or where you can point someone in the right direction, then go in and literally answer their questions. And many people, the people who get a lot of new customers and a lot of business from LinkedIn find that groups are absolutely invaluable. In many ways, it's the same as Facebook groups as well. But on LinkedIn, it's more business focused. So just help people out. And the more you help people out, the more you'll get known as someone who adds value and the more attention to your profile that you'll get. And when you start looking to see who's looked at your profile, you'll notice that slowly but surely you'll be getting more of the right types of people. So there we are. Thank you very much to Sue, to Carl, and to Mark, who've asked questions about profile views, how to get more of them, how to get inquiries from profile views, and also how to get more of the right people looking at your profile as well. I hope you found those useful. As I said, this show is predominantly about interviewing our social media warriors, but from time to time, like today, it'll be just me and the microphone, and I'll be answering some of your questions. Of course, another place that you can ask questions is in our social media warrior community. This is a private group on Facebook, which we're growing. Please do join the waiting list. You'll find other listeners. Our experts who have been interviewed on the show are also joining as well. And in there, you can ask questions, share ideas, get help, and provide help and support to one another. So please do join the waiting list for this. Just go to www.philipcalvert.com/social media warriors. And you'll also find a link in the show notes to this as well. So thanks again. I really appreciate you joining me, and see you next time.
You've been listening to The Social Media Show with Philip Calvert. For more great tips and resources, follow Philip on Twitter @PhilipCalvert. And if you'd like to book Philip to speak at and rock your conference or event, contact him by email, philip@philipcalvert.com. Thanks for listening.